Mindset, blessed love, manners and respect. Want to greet the item in the divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie the First, and also Empress Menen the First. Holy Emmanuel I, King Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, one more day above ground. Beautiful viewers and subscribers, as they them know. Life our ultimate position, not no greater than that, no matter what go on, on top of everything that we see going on. Zin, as the them know, would I love the item for please push that like button, it's important. Alright. Someone have to bring some information that the item may not be privy to. Zin, as always, so you don't know, we're going to share it right here for the item. Okay, yeah, to be informed. Alright, so we are looking on Ghana and Jamaica relationship, a stronger bond between the two nations. As we know, many of the people on the island of Jamaica are naturally Ghanaians. Yeah, they have it to say that 95% of Jamaicans are Ghanaians originally. Alright, so say it's a family thing. Yeah, and we see the High Commissioner of Ghana Zin in from Jamaica in Ghana, yeah, with the president, and we want to share that, as we know, in I think it was 2018, you have the year of return, in which Ghana initiated. I think it was a great initiative from our brothers and sisters there on the continent. Right, but we also have Ibrahim Traore in the midst of everything that is taking place in Africa right now, where Pan-Africanism is concerned. And Diomaye, president now of Ghana, was former president of the African Union, and him share a very powerful message, regarding Burkina Faso and President Ibrahim Traore, and the stance that Africans and African nations are making right now, to eradicate neocolonialism and colonialism out of the continent. It's a fight and it's a challenge, and you don't know, say, good must conquer evil. That is the reality. Okay, so make we get into an article that we came across, where the president was sharing an African Union at the African Union, Zin, celebrating African Union Day. Though President Diomaye Mahama deliver one of them, powerful messages, as you hear a lot of public figure now, supporting, the president of Burkina Faso with a lot of strong messages, and this is one of them where we want to share with the item. The president say, in his address in a video on Ghana Trend YouTube platform, President Mahama praised the progress of African nations have made over the decade, acknowledging the strides in democracy, economics, and integration and regional cooperation. He emphasized, however, that there is much remain to be done to fulfill the aspiration of the continent founding leaders, particularly in areas of peace, security, and sustainability and development. Mahama also urged Africans leaders to recommit to the core value of the African Union. What does that mean? Including good governance, respect for human rights, and inclusive growth. He cautioned against internal conflict, political instability, and external interference that continue to derail the progress on the continent. Furthermore, the former president called on African youths and civil society to play a central role in shaping the African future, seeing and the Africa that people want to see. He emphasized that achieving the Africa we want vision require collective responsibility and the active participant of every citizen, not just politician. Mohammed message resonate right across the whole African continent and the diaspora. Zin, yeah, we want to big up Ibrahim Traore. Zin, I know many people might have what you would call their concern, and rightly so. You know what I mean? Everyone will have concern due to history, and it's like a bird of two wings, and a bird can only fly on two wings, and it seems like this bird is always interfering in Africa's development and growth and stability. And sometimes it may look like we're not opening up our eyes to see certain things, because once bitten, twice shy, and that is the concern that a lot of ones have, that the same snake is the same snake. They don't change. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter which part of the world the snake come from. The snake is always going to be the snake. It doesn't change. It only shed its skin to get bigger. So people have those concern with certain relationship that Ibrahim Traore might have with certain nations outside of Africa, and that are people concern, and people is also entitled to their opinions and how they see things. But we must know that collective security is our only collective goal. We should stand on that. Unity is strength. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying we should support the wrong thing. You know what I mean? But we must unite and come together and be stronger. You know what I mean? Yeah, don't fight against one another when we are trying to get out of the barrel, where so many crabs are. You know what I mean? But anyway, as I said, the relationship between Jamaica and Ghana, is getting stronger and stronger. We see the High Commissioner of Ghana from Jamaica is there in Ghana, and I just want to share this bit of information for the item. I think it's imperative to know. All right, here goes.
Looking at an exchange of professionals, especially in the education space and also in healthcare. And so that's something that we can continue to work on while you're here during your tenure in office. And we've exchanged visits already at the high level at the presidency, and I think that those visits can continue while we continue to work on creating more opportunities. We invite Jamaican business people to take the advantages of the African Continental Free Trade Area that allows us to trade duty-free, tariff-free with each other. And so it's possible to use Ghana as the platform to be able to reach out to a 1.3 billion market. And so during your tenure, I believe that visits at a business level between Jamaican business people and Ghanaian business people would be one of the things that we can look at. Unfortunately, despite the historic relations between Ghana and Jamaica, we still don't have missions, established in our countries, and I think that that's something we should look at. I mean,
I also wish to indicate that education is another area that we can look at even beyond the exchange of teachers. We have an MOU with the University of the West Indies and the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat and sending students to Jamaica. So we are an ideal location for Ghanaian students to study as well. I also wish to signal that we do have a large diaspora here, between 2,000 and 4,000, I'm told. I'll be meeting with them on Thursday, and I am assured that our diasporans are good ambassadors of Jamaica in the Republic of Ghana.
You see papaya trees, you'd see guava trees, you'd see cassava and things like that. And when I started mingling with the Ghanaian people, I started to hear words that we use in Jamaica, like mise, wende, and so forth. And then I started to hear names that we used to call people in Jamaica, and we think they were nicknames or aliases. Kweko, Kojo, Taki. Then I started to realize these names were related to the days that a male were born or a female were born. And when I started talking to Ghanaian people, I started to see their love. They started to tell you, you're also an African, because they can see the behavior. We can see the similarity in looking alike. And then when I started to go around with the Ghanaian people, then I said, yes, I'm a Jamaican. I remember once I went to a marketplace to buy what they call cola nut. In Jamaica, we call it busy. So after I bought the nut, the lady said to me, do you know this thing? I said, yes, but only in Jamaica we call it busy. She said, oh, you're an African then, because we call it busy here also. Then when I look again at the mountainside and the homes we built in Jamaica, then like Warwicker Hill, then I go to Aburi, I see the same kind of structure, the same kind of house built the same way, the same. A matter of fact, I think we have the same liking as the people. The things we love, they do love too. So therefore, the interaction with Ghanaian people and yourself will make you know that you're an extract of that part of Africa, West Africa, are Ghanaian people, so to speak. So therefore, being saying an African, it's something that you can be proud of.
All right. You heard it, and it is said that most of the original inhabitants of Jamaica were from Ghana, and so I'm sure we have so much in common. The very first president of Ghana,
he says that it came with during the the beginning of the transatlantic slave trade in the 1500s or so, with enslaved Akans to the Jamaicans. And that is how Anche got into Jamaica. So the original name in Akan is Anche, and then in Jamaica it is known as Aki. The next name I'm going to spell out is Dokunu, which is how the Jamaicans, I've heard it said, Dokunu. Dokunu is not wrong. The Akans or the Ghanaians, if I'm permitted to generalize, will say Dokunu. And there are various types of dokono. There is the ga kenke, incline dokono. There is the fanti kenke, fanti dokono. The other name that Jamaica may call it is also Jamaican blue draws. Yes, that is the same cornmeal wrapped in.
Press that subscribe button. See you video. I just start the mic.
Not the plastic knockoffs, the real handmade Jamaican yard brooms. This is deeper than garbage. It's about pride, culture, and responsibility. Clean your yard, clean your heart, clean your country.
Clean sweep, physical sweep, mental sweep, spiritual sweep, brooming.
Launched in March 2025, the Pass the Broom campaign recognizes that the National Solid Waste Management Authority can't tackle Jamaicans' waste challenges alone. It's a call to action for all of us to take responsibility for our surroundings, because public spaces belong to everyone. And when we each do our part, we spark a chain reaction of care.
Yes, you know that we Nussford, straight across the island. Yeah, man. Send us a message to Brooming LLC at Instagram and find out how you can get your brooms shipped or drive straight to Brooming Impossible.
Press that subscribe button. See you on the next video. I just start the mindset.